Hey guys, my name is Jim Dry. I'm studying Full Sail for Game Design, and I want to talk to you today about one of our technological pioneers, which is Robert Noyce. Just to get to the guts and glory of the story, he was 28 years old when he was contracted by William Shockley, who is the creator of the transistor. And I'll try to give a small little example here. Bear with me because I'm not a very good artist. But that would basically be a rough sketch of what a transistor would look like, and it's something that was used back in the 1950s and something that's still used today, although we've miniaturized it. But Robert Noyce started working with William, and once William Shockley invented this transistor, he kind of got a big head. He got the Nobel Prize for it and all this, all this sort of stuff. He started really making his employees feel uncomfortable around him, which led to Robert and 7 others deciding to leave working with Stockley at Stockley Labs, I believe, and starting up their own company, and they named it Fairchild Semiconductor. So that's one of the things that Robert Noyce is really well known for, was having this startup company and starting Fairchild. He also is a co-founder of Intel Corporation, which I'm sure you know what that is. One of my favorite things that Robert did with the transistor actually was there was this big... Everyone was trying to figure out a better way to implement this sort of technology, because its fatal flaw, the fatal flaw with the transistor was it only did one thing. If you had one transistor, you could have it do one thing. If you needed to do 100 things, you had to have 100 transistors. So Robert thought, why not create a device? Again, I'll give you a super rough sketching here. Why not create a device that could connect all of these together and enable it to do more than one thing? So there you go. That's a kind of a rough sketch there, but that would be the product of Fairchild, the integrated circuit, and that was the biggest thing that they and Robert Noyce was known for, was this integrated circuit. Now, Jack Kilby worked for TI, which was Texas Instruments, a company that's still around today, and he is also credited as a co-creator of the integrated circuit. Jack Kilby's circuit kind of looked the same in a way. Instead of having these components put together on the plate directly, Jack Kilby's had to be wired. It had some sort of wire that connected all of them together, which was very improbable because it had to be wired by hand, and it was very improbable for mass production. So this was the better design. It just was. One of the other big accomplishments of Robert Noyce and the companies that he spawned off was the microprocessor. That's something that we use today. And we're going to continue to use until a better technology comes around. But that's some of the big accomplishments for Robert Noyce. Some of my favorite ones, although he didn't create the transistor, he moved it in a new direction, which was fantastic. One of the biggest reasons why the integrated circuit was such a success was because the United States was infatuated with the military. The Russians had put a satellite into orbit before we had. NASA was formed. We all of a sudden were really interested in technology and electronics. So that's kind of why the integrated circuit came around. And Robert Noyce's integrated circuit he actually named Micrologic. It sold for about $129. So that's just a little backstory on that. One of my favorite things that I learned about Robert Noyce was not only his creations, the things that he worked with, the people that he worked with, and the places that he spawned, or the companies that he spawned from him, was he really wanted his circuits to be used by ordinary consumers. He did care about the government and those sorts of things and selling for these high prices, but when he dropped the price of the circuit down, that was one of the coolest things I think anybody had done. He wasn't in it for the money. He wanted to see where his technology would eventually take him. In conclusion, Robert Noyce is best known for the integrated circuit, his work on the microprocessor and the designs in those fields. Working under William Shockley was a big thing. But leaving was even a bigger thing, and starting Fairchild and Intel, some of the biggest stuff he's known for. But one of my absolute favorite things was the inspiration that he gave to others. He inspired many others to go off and start their own companies, be entrepreneurs, and follow their dreams. Well, everybody, thanks for watching and taking a trip down memory lane. and learning a little bit about Robert Noyce, and I encourage everyone to do a little bit more research on him, find out why he was such a cool guy. And that's it. Thanks.